A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious, but it cannot survive treason from within. An enemy at the gates is less formidable, for he is known and carries his banner openly. But the traitor moves amongst those within the gate freely, his sly whispers rustling through all the alleys, heard in the very halls of government itself. You see, the traitor appears not a traitor. He speaks in accents familiar to his victims, and he wears their face in their arguments. He appeals to the baseness that lies deep in the hearts of all men. He rots the soul of a nation. He works secretly and unknown in the night to undermine the pillars of the city. He infects the body politic so that it can no longer resist. A murderer is less to fear. So wrote the great Roman orator and statesman Marcus Tullius Cicero in 42 BC. What goes around comes around. I quoted this in The Enemy Within by Michael Savage, Saving America from the Liberal Assault on Our Schools, Faith, and Military, published back in, I think, 2003 or so, because I thought it was 2003. Book's not in print. I'm not trying to sell it to you. It's a great book. Great book. And I asked, who is the enemy within? Are there names to be named? Yes. There are enough names to fill this entire book. But listen to what I wrote. Perhaps we should put our own names in this book. Why do I say that, I wrote? Because most of us have failed our own democratic system by not being vigilant. Most of us have looked the other way while our borders, language, and culture have been diluted. I wrote that. And there's a lot more to be said. I wrote that America's heading for fatal social crash. I was warning that in 2003. I referred to a near-death experience in my own life and how that awakened me to the fact that a nation can also head for a fatal social crash. Just as an individual could be in a car wreck that's fatal or put it in a coma, this nation has been semi-comatose so long, stupefied by the entertainment vermin, stupefied by the news vermin, that there's almost nothing to stop this nation from a fatality from which there is no returning. And I wrote, am I overstating the danger here? With the sanctimonious zealots driving public policy, the homeless are the sacred cows of the streets. The lawyers twist the system in favor of the criminal class. The churches are silenced while the courts legislate immorality. And patriots and police are censored while dung slingers are subsidized. These diehard irreligious lefties are also the driving force in re-education. The professors at the Institutes of Lower Living shove failed Marxist ideology down our children's throats. Students are required to open up and just say, if that is they want a passing grade. I can't speak for you, and I go on and on. This is all from The Enemy Within. And boy, was I right. Boy, was I right. Right, oh right, oh right. And what good does it do to me to have been right? What good did it do me to publish this and so many other books? What good did it do this country for me to spend the last 16 years, perhaps the last good years of my life, screaming from the very highest rooftop that I could find with the very loudest megaphone, with all of the collective intelligence that my family gave me, all of the education that I myself had accrued, all of the reading and learning and discerning and worrying night after night and day after day. Am I getting it quite right? Am I giving the people the right truth? Am I going a little too far? Am I being too comedic in a political arena so I undermine my own message? Am I being too vociferous in my statements where people will get frightened of me? 16 of the best years of my life, I don't know what's left. Don't know, no one knows. You don't know, I don't know. And what did it come to? We have an imposter in the White House. We have a gang that took over the Congress that won't even vote on a bill that will take over 20% of the economy. In other words, it was all for nothing.